Hello everyone. What we are going to learn in this video is how to create Azure Build Pipeline using YAML file, and then how to deploy a Java web application using that Azure Build Pipeline from GitHub into Azure Cloud. So let's quickly go over the agenda. We will be learning why we should use Azure Build Pipeline using YAML file instead of a classic editor, and then what is Azure App Service or WebApp in Azure Cloud, and then we will go over the prerequisites, and then we will do the demo part. So during the demo, we will create WebApp in Azure Cloud, and then we will also build Azure Pipeline using YAML file instead of using classic editor option. And then we will use this pipeline in order to automate build and deployment of a Java web application from GitHub into Azure Cloud. And then after migrate the application into Azure Cloud, we will also access the application as well. Okay, so that's what we are going to talk about in this video. Awesome. So let me quickly go over the use case here. So this is my website, guys, coachdevops.com. I will be posting the link right below the video as well. Awesome. So let's quickly go over the use case. So if you look at this diagram, so we have our Java project set up in GitHub. Okay, this is a very simple Java application, and we will be building Azure Pipeline or Azure Build Pipeline using pipeline as a code, which is nothing but we are going to use a YAML file instead of going with the classic editor option. Okay, and then we are going to deploy this Java application using this build pipeline into Azure Cloud. We are going to leverage something called Azure Web App or Azure App Service, which is kind of a platform as a service capability provided by Azure Cloud. So you can use Azure Web App or Azure App Service whenever you are building any web app or mobile app or any API app. If you would like to deploy, or if you want to quickly set up your application into Azure Cloud without worrying about the infrastructure, this is a good option for you. Okay, so that's exactly what we are going to do in this video. So we are going to build Azure Build Pipeline that is going to automate the build process and then automate the deployment of the Java web application into Azure Cloud. If you look at the prerequisites, yes, we need to have Azure subscription. So that is nothing but this one. I already have Azure account, so I'm actually using pay-as-you-go subscription. And then we also need to have a Java web app setup. So this is my Java web app setup, which is kind of a monolithic application, very simple Java application. Index.jsp, which is like very simple hello world application. And then I also have Azure DevOps account created. So this is my Azure DevOps dashboard or whatever you call. So I'm going to use this project. And then we need to create a service connection, so which is going to connect from ADO into GitHub. So I will also talk about that as well. And then we need to have web app created as well. So you can also click on this link if you would like to know how to set up web app in Azure Cloud. Okay, so these are the prerequisites. So let me quickly go ahead and then create these two. Okay, we already have these three prerequisites already taken care of that. So let me quickly create a service connection. So service connection is nothing but since our pipeline is going to access a GitHub, so we need to establish a connection between GitHub and ADO. So this is how we are going to do that. So this is my project dashboard. So go to project settings and then go to service connections over here. And then click on new service connection. So we would like to connect to GitHub. So click on GitHub, click on next. And then we are going to use personal access token. So we have to create personal access token in GitHub. So let me go to my GitHub, go to settings, go to developer settings, personal access token. Let me quickly create a token. So I'm going to keep this, just 7 days, but it's up to you. You can, even do no expiration as well. I'll leave it to you. Just for this demo purpose, I would like to create a token with 7 days expiration. Click on generate token. There you go. So this is my token. So I'm going to use the token for creating the service connection. Okay, great. And then click on verify. Awesome. So we got this message, verification succeeded, and then we can go ahead and then give some name. I'm going to say my GitHub service connection. And then if you like to give permission to all the build pipeline, go ahead and then check this option. Okay, and then click on verify and save. So this is going to save or create a service connection with this name. Wonderful. There you go. You see here? Awesome. So that is good. So we took care of this one. And then we are going to go ahead and then create something called WebApp. So like I said, WebApp is nothing but it's kind of an app service provided by Azure Cloud, which is kind of a platform as a service model where you don't have to worry about, creating a VM or installing anything on that VM, right? So this is like a configuring a web app for your web application, right? So let me go to Azure Cloud, or you can also click on this link. So this gives you a walkthrough of, how to create a web app in Azure Cloud. Okay. But I already know how to do that, but I'm going to quickly get started here. So this is Azure Cloud, right? Or Azure portal, whatever you call. So click on App Service. Okay, so like I said, App Service is nothing but if we have any of your web app or mobile app or API app, irrespective of the technology stack, right? .NET or Java or Node.js or PHP or Python, you would be able to migrate them into Azure Cloud in a matter of seconds. Okay, so we are going to create this app service. This is where we are going to deploy our Java web application. Okay, so let's click on create app service. Okay, so let's give some resource group name. Okay, so create new, you can say my dev resource group. Okay, and then we have to give a web app name. So again, you can type it. This has to be unique. Let me just give some name, my awesome super web app. There you go. So this is available. But if you just give my web app, I'm pretty sure that would have been taken care already, right? You see here, this is not available because somebody already took this. So give some unique name, no space, no characters. And then ours is a Java application. So I'm going to leave it that as code. You can also do Docker container as well, but we can see it in a separate video. And then the runtime stack is going to be Java 11. And then we are going to choose Tomcat version. So let me go with Apache Tomcat 9.0. Perfect. And then what is the OS, right? So I would like to leave it with Linux. Since this is a Java based application, let's go with the open source operating system. And then region, this is fine, Central OS. Okay, and then we have to select app service plan for our web app. And then let's select the size for our web app. So click on change size. So depending on your workload, you can pick up this option. Since this is for demo purpose, I'm going to go with the dev/test. As we don't need really like a most production workload, right? We can still go with the less demanding workload. So let me select this one. If you are using free tier, you can also choose this option as well. Okay, but I'm going to go with this option and then click on apply. Okay, there you go. You see here. So almost like 2 GB RAM. Perfect. I think that's pretty much over here. So we selected the resource group, gave a name for our web app, and then choose the stack, operating system, region, and then the plan and the SKU size. Okay, wonderful. So click on review and create. So this is going to create this web app. That is where we are going to deploy our Java based application. So this may take again 30 to 45 seconds depending on the internet speed. So if you look at this diagram, this is what we are creating right now, right? So once the web app is created, we will go to Azure DevOps and then start creating build pipeline, which is going to check out the code, build the code using Maven, and then it is going to deploy into Azure Web App. So we are going to build the pipeline using YAML file. Awesome. So there you go. See here, this says that deployment is complete. So let's go to home. There you go. So this is the web app or app service, whatever you call. So click on this one. Let's quickly verify that the URL, everything is coming up. As you can see here, this is already a secured link, right? We don't have to worry about, mentioning the port number or anything like that. This is fully secured. There you go. See here. So right now it says that our app service is up and running. Time to do the next step, which is nothing but deploy our code. Okay, and then this also confirms that what is the Java version and then Tomcat path and all. Okay, awesome. This is great. So our web app is created. As you can see here, this is secure. And this is where we are going to deploy our Java based application. Awesome. So let me go back to our ADO. So this is our ADO. And then let me also quickly go back to my website here. So everything has been taken care, as you can see here, right? So now we can start creating Azure Build Pipeline. Okay, awesome. So let's go to ADO here. So go to Pipelines and click on New Pipeline. There you go. So as you can see here, you can actually create pipeline in Azure DevOps in two different ways, right? So you can go with this option, which is nothing but like building a pipeline using YAML file, or we can go with a classic editor. Okay, but classic editor is really like a legacy way. If you want to create a pipeline without creating a YAML file, you can go with this option. I do have several videos in my YouTube channel, so feel free to check those videos if you would like to know how to create a pipeline without using YAML file. But we are going to go with YAML option. Since our source code is there in GitHub, this is our source code, right? So we are going to go with this option. So click on GitHub. Since we have already created a service connection, so ADO is able to communicate with GitHub, and then we are able to see all those repos, right? So our repo name is this, or just copy that. Go ahead and then select here, and then select this repo. Okay. So if you see here, so these are the options, right? So you can also click on show more. So if you see here, we can select any options, right? Depending on our technology stack and whatnot. But what are we actually trying to do? So if you look at this particular option, this is what we are trying to do, right? We would like to build a Java project and then deploy it into Azure Web App, right? And then we already chose Linux Web App. So that's all we are trying to do, isn't it? So you can also click on this option as well. So when you click on this option, it will go ahead and then create a pipeline for you. Or, you can also go with the starter pipeline as well, like so that you can have a minimal configuration and then you can customize it later if you like. But since we already, like set up our Java project and whatnot, let's go with this option. Okay. So, and then let's select the Azure subscription. Click on continue. So it is asking to enter our Azure subscription information. So we have to provide our Microsoft account information. Click on next. Send notification. So I got a notification in my phone. I'm going to give approve. Perfect. So now it is able to talk to Azure. So click on this drop down. There you go. You see here, this web app is nothing but what we have created in Azure portal, right? It's called my awesome super web app. Okay. So select that one and then click on validate and configure. Okay, awesome. See here now the pipeline has been created. Look at this, guys. Okay, so this is the pipeline name, Azure-pipelines.yaml file. So this is our pipeline as a code, right? So this is a subscription information, web app name, environment name and whatnot. So where the build is actually going to run. So this is going to run on Ubuntu image. And if you like to change, you can definitely change. You can click on show assistant. If you want to customize whatever you want to do, any task, you can customize, no problem. Okay, and then so this is our like stages, right? Like under build stage, yes, we would like to build using Maven. So we have to provide the path of pom.xml file. So if you go back to our Java application, our pom.xml file resides inside my web app. So we just have to add my web app here like that. Okay. And then yes, this is going to build a war file. So this is fine. Okay. And then finally it is going to put it on the drop location before it can start deploying into a web app. Okay. So this is the web app information. Everything is here, right? So I think that's pretty much it over there. So let's click on save and run. Okay. So what this is actually going to do, this is going to go ahead and then save this file under our repo. You see here, right? And then if you want to, go ahead and then you can go ahead and then click on save and run. So right now, as you can see here, it is in the process of checking in the build YAML file into our ADO. So if I go into GitHub, sorry. So if I go back here, there you go. See here? So that is our pipeline YAML file. Wonderful. And then if you go back to the ADO, it already started the build. Okay. So you can click on here. There you go. You see here? So right now it already started checking out the code. It is in the process of building using Maven. Awesome. So the build is actually completed. Okay. So you see here, so build is completed. Now it is waiting for our input, right? So look at here. It says that this pipeline needs permission to access the resource before this can run. So that it can do the deployment, right? So either you can click on here or you can also click on here as well. Let's click on here. It says that this needs permission to access. Let's click on view and then say permit. So when you say permit, this will go ahead and then deploy the Java war file into WebApp, right? Which is hosted in Azure Cloud. So click on permit. So we got a message saying that permission granted. So let me go back to pipeline now. There you go. So now the deployment also started, as you can see here. Awesome. You see here, it says that successfully deployed. I think this is just wrapping up. It may take a few seconds. Or you can always go back and then just check. It's almost done. Okay, wonderful. There you go. You see here, so deployment also completed. Very good. So we were able to see that, as you can see here, build and deploy. Wonderful. So how to check the output? So we are going to go back to our Azure portal, right? So this was the URL, correct? So click on this URL. Yes, we got this error message, but don't worry. So what was the web app name? The web app name is my web app. So let's quickly enter that. So we should be able to see the output. Wow, there you go. You see here? So we got a hello world this message, right? So how this is coming from? So this is actually coming from here, right? Go to my web app. So it is actually coming from here, isn't it? So we can also make some code changes in order to see the pipeline is triggering or not. Okay. So let's quickly look at the code. So this is our code, right? Our pipeline code. So if you see here, this is going to trigger whenever there is a code change in the main branch, isn't it? So let's do one thing. Let's quickly make a code change. Go to my web app. Let me edit this and then let's say something like, hi everyone, welcome to Azure Build Pipeline. We are migrating Java web app hosted in GitHub into Azure Cloud. Or we can say we are migrating Java web app from GitHub into Azure Cloud. Okay, perfect. Let me make a code change. I'm going to say triggering build in ADO. ADO stands for Azure DevOps. Let's click on commit. Okay, so I actually made a code change in GitHub, isn't it? Okay, so let me go back to ADO. Click on here. Wow, look at here. So this was the commit message we provided, isn't it? Look at here. It already detected the code change instantly. It is in the process of checking out the code, building the code. So let's check the output. This should not take much time. Wonderful. Awesome. So deployment also completed, it looks like. So let's go back to pipeline. There you go. You see here. So deployment also completed just now. So let's quickly check the output. Let me go back to the same link and then click on refresh. So this might take few seconds. So this was the expected message, isn't it? Right? Okay, so basically guys, what we just learned is how to migrate a Java web application which is hosted in GitHub into Azure Cloud using Azure Build Pipeline. Thank you for watching this video, guys.